Assalamualaikum and hi. So today our group will discuss about blended learning versus traditional learning. Before we start, I would like to introduce myself first. My name is Muhammad Haris Aznel bin Muhammad Yaakob and my matrix number CW 2409 Next, our speaker one. Can you introduce yourself?
So I'm Hujaini bin Hamka, and my role here is as Ikwan. My metric number is CW24093012.
And hi, I am as a speaker too. My name is Nur Hazwani Izzati binti Ismaili, and my matrix number is CW2409310005.
Hello everyone, my name is Muhammad Alam Bamri Rahmat and I as a speaker 3, my metric number is CW24093010.
Okay, before we go to the topic and the question, let me talk a bit about the introduction of this topic. So, in the rapidly evolving landscape of modern education, the shift from traditional classroom setting more to technological integrated models has become a focal point of academic discussion. Traditional learning, categorized, categorized by synchronous face-to-face instruction has long been the gold standard for social interaction and immediate feedback. However, the emergence of blending learning, a strategic fusion of online digital tools and physical classroom instruction, has introduced a new dimension of flexibility and resource accessibility. This study aimed to analyze the cooperative strength and challenge of integrating online tools within the traditional framework by examining how these two methods consist. This analysis will highlight the impact of the hybrid approach on student engagement, instructional, in, instructional efficiency, and the overall educational experience. So, my first question is, what is the strength of blended learning? You guys also can compare with traditional learning. We start with speaker one.
So thank you, our moderator. So my first point for strength in blended learning is I'm going to talk about its flexibility. So as we know, blended learning, we blend the traditional learning and the online tools into one simple learning style. So when we did this, students can access material anytime, anywhere, because they can easily access it as long as they have the gadget. But let's say if they use the traditional method, they need to bring their books, which is very inconvenient. The second one is the learner can review recorded lectures when they miss a class. So whenever the lectures finish the lecture, they will upload the video into the online platforms such as CN. So they can access the video and learn it from their home. But in traditional learning, they can do this because um, the traditional one didn't allow any recorded session. The third one, student can complete the assignment without any pressure because student can do the assignment with their own pace. Difficult topic also can be revisited anytime. So whenever they feel like, oh, they don't know about the topic, they can revisit it until they already understand about the topic. It also helps the student to balance their personal life, school life, and their responsibility. Teacher also can share their resources, adjusting assignment deadline, and provide material from different format with these online tools. So it support different learning style because it make education more accessible, especially for the one that need to learn visually and the one that learn auditory. So let's say I'm going to take one of the online example for this. So during the COVID-19 pandemic, school were closed and the student attend online teaching from home. So the student that will join the live lesson through online platform. The most common online platform during the time is Google Classroom, Google Meet, and lastly maybe Microsoft Teams. So if they had internet problem or miss a session, they could watch the recorded session sent by the teacher. The assignment also submitted online, allowing them to continue to learn although they are in the lockdown phase. This flexibility will ensure that the education always continue, although the global crisis is undergoing during the COVID-19 era. That's all from me. Thank you, moderator.
Thank you so much for your answers, Speaker One. So, Speaker One choose the strength is flexibility. But can I ask you a bit question? Okay, as we know, when COVID-19 era, there has a lot of problem, that students have faced. Okay, for example, they don't have a good line, all right? They don't have a gadget. So, what do you think if can happen again, all right? If can happen again, a pandemic or lockdown, do you think that that problem can be happen to other student, like the line connection and something else?
Of course, the problem might happen, but as long as they take an action such as allowing the teachers to give their face-to-face exercise, physical exercise, the problem about the online stuff can be faced. Yes,
All right.
that's it.
Thank you so much for your answer. Okay, we move to our speaker two with the same question: strength of blended learning.
Thank you, moderator. So I would like to highlight the cost effectiveness as one of the key strengths of blended learning. So blended learning helps reduce financial burden for both students and institutions because learning is not fully dependent on physical attendance. So for students, this means they do not need to travel to campus every single day. So this reduces transportation costs, fuel expenses, parking fees, and even daily meal spending. For those who live far from campus, it may also reduce accommodation costs. So from the institution perspective, blended learning lowers operational costs. So universities can reduce printing expenses because materials are shared digitally. So recorded lectures, online quizzes, and uploaded notes can be reused for future semesters, which save time and resources. Our classroom space can also be managed more efficiently since not all sessions required physical presence. So if we compare with the traditional learning, traditional systems rely entirely on face-to-face sessions. Students must attend campus daily, and institutions must continuously maintain classrooms, lighting, equipment, and printed materials. So while traditional learning provides direct interaction and immediate communication, it requires higher fixed costs and less flexibility. Everything depends on physical presence, which limits resource optimization. So, blended learning, however, combines online and physical sessions. Lectures or theoretical content can be delivered online, while classroom time can focus on discussions, collaboration, and clarification. This makes learning more efficient because face to face time is used more meaningfully instead of just listening to the long lectures. So, uh, This example, so here I want to make a real world example that can be seen at Telus University in Malaysia, which at the Subang Jaya. So the university integrates blended learning into many of its programs by using online learning platforms, where lecturers upload lectures recordings, notes, and learning material before class. So students are expected to review the material online first. So when they attend physical classes, the session focus more on discussion, case studies, group activities, and problem solving. So this can reduces the need for long lecture hours on campus. I think that's all from me.
Thank you so much for your explanation, speaker two. Next, we move to our last speaker.
Thank you, moderator, for the question. So I think I totally agree with the both of the speaker answer, speaker one and speaker two, and I think blended learning also have the another strengths, that is student engagement. Blended learning keeps students engaged by mixing classroom activities with online tasks, and in class, students take a part in discussion, problem solving, and hands-on work. Online, they use quizzes, video, and interactive modules that make them practice and apply knowledge. This combination turns learning from passive listening into active involvement. It also lets students learn at their own pace. Online lesson can be paused, replayed, and revisited, while teacher use class time to clear up confusion or challenge advanced learner. This way, struggling students do not feel left behind, and faster learners do not get bored. Both groups stay motivated and focused in the classroom. And then, collaboration is another strength, that is, students work together through group projects, discussion boards, and written meetings alongside with classroom teamwork. They can share ideas in different ways like writing, speaking, or recording, which help everyone find a style that suits with them. This variety boosts community, encourages feedback, and keeps students actively engaged. Blended learning also makes studying easier to understand because students can review lessons, watch video, and practice online at their own pace. In traditional classroom, teacher explains lesson directly, but this may not always fit each student needs. This is the comparison between the blended learning and the traditional learning. For motivation, blended learning can be fun and interesting since it uses different media and gives students more control. Still, if teachers do not stay connected, some students may feel alone or lonely or less motivated. For traditional classroom, it can be personalized too, but it's harder for teacher to do this for many students at once. Traditional classroom give face-to-face support and quick encouragement, which help many learners stay engaged. Blended learning also allows more personalizations. Online tools can adjust to each student, give instant feedback, and provide resources at different levels. I will take the real-world example from the University Science Malaysia, that is USM. USM started a blended learning pilot to make classes more engaging and useful. Lecturer recorded short weekly video for students to watch before class. In class, time was used for the problem solving, case discussion, and group work, so lecturer could give feedback and extra helps. The pilot covered a few modules in different facilities and faculties. And then lecturer learns how to make short video, design online tasks, and use LMS, that is Learning Management System data to check student participation. Students were shown how to complete pre-class activities. Lecturer also use feedback and data to adjust lessons during the semester. Result will be shown. Students were better prepared before class and classroom sessions were more active. Quizzes and LMS reports help lecturers spot problem early and improve tutorial. Outcome varied by subjects, but student and staff agreed that the course structure was clear and class time was more effective. Important lessons were the need for short, well-designed online material, continuous support for lecture, and fair access for students with weak internet by offering low bandwidth or on-campus option. With good planning and support, blended learning helps increase engagement and made classroom learning deeper. In short, blended learning offer deeper thinking, more independent and better personalizations, while traditional classroom give stronger social support and motivation. I think that's all for me.
Oh, thank you so much, our speaker three. So, can I ask you a bit question? A question.
Yeah,
Okay. As you mentioned, uh, you you mentioned that the lecturer can give a lot of assessment like quizzes and LMS, right? So, if in blended learning, how you want to, how we say, what is your strategy if have a lot of students doing cheating when they're doing the quizzes? What's
thank you for
your
that.
strategy? What's your strategy?
Okay, okay. So the question is focused more on the strategy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think if I, as a lecturer, I think I will use the like apps that check plagiarisms, so I can detect if the student use the AI for the assessment or assignment, so I can deduct their marks from that uh, percentage of the AI. I think that one of my strategy. Yeah.
All right, thank you so much for your answer, Speaker 3. So we move to the next question. There is the challenge of blended learning. So we will start with our Speaker 1.
So thank you, speaker. The first challenge for the blended learning is, uh, although it allows a student to gain more flexibility on the task, this blended learning technique will also affect on their social interaction because it will cause limited interaction between peers with peers or peers with lecturers. So when they have the limited interaction, the student have fewer opportunities for immediate communication with the teachers or the lecturers. Online discussion may be less active, engaged, may be less active or engaging because they have their own authority to turn off the mic or turn off the camera, so they don't want to involve with the class. The question also cannot always be answered instantly because they need to type the question, type the answer, so they can provide the answer to the online platform. The student also may feel isolated from the classmate because the teacher might only highlighted a few people that only appeared at the top of their platform interface. And then group activities and classroom debates are harder to conduct online because people tend to react or people tend to answer with body language, expression, because it's about the human natural observation skill. The nonverbal communication, such as body language and voice tone, is limited. So it will affect their understanding during the debate. Lastly, um, online platform also reduce the interaction that will weaken the collaboration and the sense of classroom community within the classmate. That's all from me. Thank you,
All
operator.
right, thank you so much. Okay, uh, one more question I want to ask about the you you mentioned the example that some student don't want to open the camera, right? So do you think that problem can be fixed?
Of course, it can be fixed. The things that you can do is you need to set the class rule, a clear class rule, which is every time you are in my class, you need to open your mic and you need to open your camera. So all of us can see expression each other. That's it. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. So we move to our speaker two with the same question, the challenge of blended learning.
Thank you, moderator. So, however, despite these strengths, blended learning also presents certain challenges. So, another challenge is technological barriers. So, learning depends heavily on stable internet connections and suitable digital devices. Not all students have equal access to their resources. If a student has weak internet coverage, they may miss online lectures, struggle to download materials, or face difficulty submitting assignments on time. This can directly affect their academic performance. Another issue is digital literacy. Some students may not be fully comfortable using learning management systems. So, online platforms or virtual meeting tools, instead of focusing on the lessons, they may feel stressed trying to manage the technology. So, in addition, there may be inequality between students in urban and rural areas due to differences in infrastructure. So, without proper institutional supports, blended learning may unintentionally disadvantage certain groups. So, therefore, while blended learning is cost effective and flexible, institutions must ensure technological readiness, provide proper training, and offer support system to ensure equal learning opportunities for all students. That's all from me.
All right. Thank you so much for your answer. But I also have a question for you, our speaker two. Okay. So about the weak line, right? Weak connection. The student have access. So if you as a teacher, if you see the student have that problem, what would you do for that?
Uh, if a student has weak internet coverage, some of the students may miss the online lectures internet, right? So uh, for the how you want to say
Maybe you do a record when a record video.
yes, recording session, you mean like for example, so today the connection is weak. So maybe I have so today I recording session for them, maybe for chapter 1. So tomorrow if the internet can access, so they can try the open the recording session by tomorrow. If there's any problems again, the students can message or text to the lecturer or teacher lah. That's all
Okay.
from me.
All right. Thank you so much for your answer. So we move to speaker three.
Okay, about the question that is the challenge. Uh, I think I also have one of the challenge of the blended learning. That is, it's more about the assessment. So the assessment is like uh, when we think about the assessment in the blended learning, it's can be fully online. So I think that's one of the biggest challenge in the blended learning is the assessment part. There is online assessment that is often rely on the multiple choice quizzes that test recall, while in-person tasks focus on more on application and problem solving. So this difference make it hard to ensure consistency as student may be judged by the different standard depending on the mode of the delivery. Authenticity and integrity at another layer of difficulty. And then Online assessment raised concern about plagiarisms, cheating, and or outside help. Tools like Turing software and plagiarism checks exist, but they can feel intrusive and damage trust between teacher and student. Feedback is another issue in this blended learning, that is in-person assessment allow immediate clarification and dialogue, while online submission often delay feedback. This reduces their formative value and limits opportunity for timely improvement. Aligned with the learning outcome is also at risk. So online tasks are sometimes simplified for easier grading, which weakens their ability to measure deeper learning goals. As a result, what is taught and what is assessed may not fully match. This challenge shows how complex it is to design fair, authentic, and outcome-aligned assessment in the blended learning. I think that's all from you.
Thank you so much for your explanation, Speaker 3. Okay, so the conclusion is the cooperative study between blended learning and traditional instruction traditional learning reveals that while the latter provides a vital foundation for social development and structured mentorship, the integration of digital tools offer undeniable advantage in terms of personalization and accessibility. The strength of blended learning, uh, the strength of such as flexibility, keep student engaging. So they must be balanced against challenge like the digital divide and requirement for higher self-discipline among learners. So ultimately, the goals of modern education is not to replace the human element of the classroom with technology, but to use online tools to augment and enhance the learning process. A successful educational model is one that effectively bridges the gap between traditional value and technological innovation to prepare students for a digital centric world. So that's all for our topic forum. Thank you.